Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome to another edition of the Kings of Anglia Fan Social. And are you got this end of season blues already? I have a little bit, but it's also been nice to just have a little bit of a chill time without going to games and travelling to, across the country to see us possibly win, possibly lose, sometimes draw as well. But today we're going to be talking all things town, from the best and worst moments of the season, of course, the strike and the hot takes for this summer. So get ready for that. We're joined by Davidson, the Sweet Wales Prince, Harvey Davies, and Bono, aka View from the U2, aka Matt, to discuss all that. Let's go over to a lady that is joining us this week to make her debut. And normally when I say Ipswich, I also say her name. Ipswich is her name. Welcome to the show. How are you doing? And introduce yourself as you would.
Hi, I am the Ipswich on Instagram, but my name is Mozinah. I'm a fairly new fan. The first sort of game I went to was New Year's Day 2019. My partner just kind of said to me, "Oh, do you fancy going to a game with me?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" I'd never been to a football game. And I think he's probably kind of regretting taking me because I'm a much bigger fan than he is now. But I love it. It's such a fun social event. It's not what I expected. I think when you watch football on TV, you can get the wrong impression. And yeah, I think you really need to go to a game to appreciate what it's about and appreciate what it means to people. Especially, after us having the pandemic and stuff, just to be able to go out again and socialise and meet new people is such an important thing. And it's something we never probably thought we'd ever have taken away from us. And I thought about that today. I thought, is that why Ipswich Town was so focused on building their club as that family community day out? Because so many families were torn apart. And kudos to them for doing that. But that's who I am. You can follow me on Instagram if you like strange tarot predictions about football games, which have strangely come true. So yeah, that's who I am. Thank you for inviting me tonight, and can't wait to get started.
Indeed, it's great to have you on, and as you said, that's one thing I'm missing already is the social of game day, just being with all the football Ipswich Town family. I'm sure we're going to meet up during the off season like everybody would do, but that is one big thing about football is meeting people from any walk of life, which is fantastic to see. And one man who lives in Wales. And that is good old Sweet Wales Prince. I probably would have never met you in any other part of life, but thankfully Ipswich Town brought us together and you're on the podcast. How you doing, my friend? It's always a pleasure. And you're here to talk about town as always.
Certainly am. Yeah, it's been a while. I can't even remember the last time I was on the pod, to be honest. Life has got in the way, but no, it's good to be back. Good to have a Davidson on, more the merrier and all that. So missing the season, but I'm also kind of ready to start the new season as well. The last season there were so many ups and downs. Cook, McKenna, Sonny Aluko, whatever you want to call it. It was a disappointing season all in all. But I'm really, really excited and really interested to see what the summer holds to begin with, and then really looking forward to what I think is going to be a really successful season. We say that every year, of course we do, because we like to be positive football fans, but I've never been so confident of us being successful. I really haven't. I think we've got fantastic coaches, we've got fantastic owners, we've got a great CEO, contrary to what Bristol City fans think. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the future brings. There'll be some bumps along the way, but I'm looking forward to July the 30th, I think it is, the first game of the season.
Day after my birthday, that's why I remembered it. I was like, that's going to be my weekend then.
Fingers crossed. I'm really looking forward to it, and this next few weeks and months should give us a real indication as to how it's going to go. So yeah, I'm good to be back, good to be chatting all things Ipswich, and good to chat with you all again.
Of course, always a pleasure, my friend. And the final man that is joining us this week, and it is good old Bono, aka View from U2, aka Matt. I also like just to call him Matt. How are you, my friend? Always a pleasure. I'm missing already on Saturdays, not bumping into you and chatting to you before the game, after the game, even at half time. I come strolling down to the Cob. I'll have to do that now for both of you guys on the podcast because you're both in the Cob. So I'll have a little chin wag before the second half. But how are you, my friend?
Hey Ross, I'm really, really good. Thank you for having me. Kind of missing it already. I usually get the train back from work to Stowmarket, but today, as I was telling the guys earlier, I got off early at Ipswich and went to Portman Road because I wanted to see how the 10-week building project is progressing, and it's looking good. So I looked through the southeast corner, like the hole that's been knocked through and all the big diggers and stuff like that. And then I went into Planet Blue and saw how there's no dugout. So yeah, that's all gonna look absolutely spiffing when we're allowed back into the ground. Hopefully there'll be a couple of pre-season friendlies perhaps before the league kicks off on July 30th. But welcome the Ipswich. It's nice to have a new face on the podcast. We promise we will be gentle. We've all been first timers once upon a time. So
I can't promise that I will be, but thanks.
Nice. And it's just an honour to have the sweet Welsh Prince with us as well. So looking to get stuck into it and talk about the mighty Tractor Boys of Ipswich Town.
Yes, well, let's get right into it then. Some people probably thought the Fan Social was going to be off for the off season, but no, we're going to be with you every week to bring you more content as ever on the Kings of Anglia feed. Let's get right into then the best and the worst moments of the season. We'll start off with the worst moments because it'd be nice to end it, of course, with the best moments. So, Ipswich, where do you want to start? Have you got multiple worst moments? Once again, it can be personal to you as well. Where are you going to go with this?
I have 4 or 5. Is that okay?
Oh.
Yeah.
Take it away. Take it away. Has it been that many?
I will be quick, I promise. Okay. I think probably the worst one, and I think maybe a lot of people might agree with me. I need to make sure I word it right though. Is when Paul Cook got sacked, because it just kind of felt like the rug was taken under our feet a little bit. And I think a disruption like that, especially in the middle of your season, of course, it's going to disrupt the whole team. It's going to make people think, where are we then? What's going to happen now? Of course, McKenna coming in was like a huge blessing in disguise. So it's not truly terrible. I think it wasn't a nice thing to see happen, especially as a newbie. You're kind of like, what's happened here? Like, are they going to recover from it? You kind of panic a little bit. And then I think that's when I realised I was probably way more invested in this than I actually wanted to be. And that's probably when I knew I was a fan. So, yeah, I think that's probably the first top one. The second one for me was the game on November the 23rd. I think it was against Oxford at home. Oh, my God. I was so unhappy I left early, and I know I never do that, but I was so grumpy. It was like watching paint dry. I just thought, no, not going to be here anymore, leaving. I think I was probably more annoyed because I had not long had surgery a few weeks back, and it was like my first day out. So I thought, I'm going to go and watch the boys win tonight, and they just disappointed me mega. So I went home kind of grumpy that night. That was an awful game. The Cambridge game is another one that was just embarrassingly bad. I don't think the team turned up for that one at all. And to be honest, the person that annoyed me the most in that was the linesman. I have a thing about linesmen, they irritate the hell out of me. But that one really he topped it. He gets the medal for most irritating linesman of the season. But that game was awful. But personally, for me, it was hilarious because my cousin, who I go with, had 5 gins and was completely smashed. And the content coming out of her mouth, I caught some of it on camera. It was beautiful. And I'd say maybe the last one for me, actually, when I bring this up, when I talk to fellow fans on Instagram, they get a bit protective over this player, is Sam Morsy. I think he needs to learn to pick his fights a bit better. Because as a captain, you need to really be leading by example. And I don't think him having those, was it 2-3 games off that he had, wasn't it? Can you imagine if they'd given him 4, 5, 6 games off and the amount that could have done to the squad, like how much damage that could have done in a really critical time where they needed to be doing well. And you do watch him on the pitch. I think he's grown wonderfully as a player. I wasn't really a fan to begin with. I didn't understand what he was doing in the midfield at all. But I like how he plays now. He has that ambition. He has that fire to want to do well. But I think his aggression needs to be toned down a little bit. If it was up to me, I'd probably let Edmondson be captain for a bit. I think he's got really good leadership qualities. I'm missing seeing him because he communicates so well with his team. But yeah, I don't know. I always feel uncomfortable bringing up the Morsey thing because I just feel like everybody really protects him, and I'm just out here like, well, am I the only one seeing this? Yeah. But I do like him as a player. I think he's great, but I think he just needs to refine who he fights with, because other teams are probably going in there thinking, oh, well, we know how to wind him up, so let's just do it. If he was a bit more tactful, a little bit more enigmatic, I reckon that could probably do more damage to the opposition than him turning up angry all the time. But that's just a personal opinion for me. But yeah, those are my worst Ipswich moments.
Okay, I'll bring Harvey and Bono here just to have a little chat about the Sam Morsey debate, because yeah, it is very much one thing we always worry about. Sam Morsey is a suspension away from a big game and stuff like that. Of course, him getting suspended after that punch, but wasn't a punch and all that sort of stuff against the Accrington team. And also I want to talk about, of course, where you and Bono are sitting. Of course, you're right next to the lino, so I'm sure there's many times that lino does get a bit of pelted sometimes if he's made a wrong decision. But yeah, you got to. Yeah, you got to. But Harvey, I'll bring you in there. Thoughts on what was just said and your worst moments as well to sort of segue into nicely.
I love that debutant and already thrown out the controversial opinions. I think that's brilliant. More controversial opinions, the better. It's an interesting one with Morsey because there's a side of his aggression that I really like, and I think that's what makes him the player he is. So the kind of shithouse side of him, if you like, I do enjoy, but I certainly understand where you're coming from, because there are times where he does overstep the line, and maybe he needs to learn to channel that aggression a little bit more. Would I want that to be completely taken away from his game? No, because I think that's what makes Morsey the player he is, and I think that's what makes him such a good leader. But I do agree, he is only one silly moment away from a 3-match ban. That's the risk that we've got with Morsey. One thing I think he's very good at is, I've noticed when he's on a yellow card, because let's be honest, he gets yellow cards most games because, as we've already discussed, the kind of player he is. He's very clever in terms of, I'm never worried he's going to get a second yellow. You'll notice the way he plays changes quite dramatically, really, when he's on a yellow card. I'm never thinking, he's on a yellow, he could get sent off here. But at the same time, as I said, you are worried that at a key moment in the season, like has been proven this season, whether you agree if it was a red card or not, he got sent off on a 4-match ban at the end of it. So it's a really interesting point about Morsey, and I can certainly see why that's been brought up. My worst moments of the season, one that sticks out because I was there, is Accrington away. That was one of the worst away days I think I've ever been to. I wasn't anti-Cook by that point because I was still confident that he was the right man, but the warning signs were there for me. We got told by Cook that we're not going to have any sort of performances like Cambridge or like anything like that when Morsey's in the building. Everything's going to change, and I thought that was really unfair actually for Cook to put that pressure on Morsey. But he was pretty anonymous in that game, to be honest with you, like they all were. So that's a really, really low point. I remember recording game day after it and just thinking, didn't think it could get any worse. I've mentioned before, the highlight of that game was our good friend John giving Harry Pell absolute grief the whole game. Others that spring to mind, the Oxford last minute winner. Again, I wasn't there, but that was really painful. I was actually following the game. I was shopping out at the time, bit of a peek down the curtain here. I was shopping at the time and I was keeping up to date on my phone, and I honestly reacted like a stroppy 14-year-old teenager when I saw that when I saw that goal go in. My reaction, I'm not proud of, to be honest with you. So there's been a few low points, and there's always going to be in a season, isn't there? No season is ever going to be absolutely perfect unless you're Man City, and even then you're losing midweek. So there's going to be highs and lows throughout the season. As long as we get more highs than we get lows, I think we will. Under this manager, I think we'll be okay. But yeah, those two stick out as really painful moments earlier on in the season as well. It was Cambridge, wasn't it, when we were winning 2-0 and it ended up 2-2. Yeah, that was. I think that was the beginning of the end for Cook with a lot of fans. To be honest, I know a lot of fans reacted really angry after that game, and rightly so, because you should never throw away a 2-goal lead like that. So there's those three kind of stick in my mind for the worst moments, and hopefully we're not going to get too many of them next season.
Hopefully not. Yeah, I think this season it's balanced out just right. There's been some high points, some late winner and blah blah blah, but then also there's been some bad moments. AK the FA Cup draws against Oldham and Barrow. They still that's a waste of my life watching them games.
Yeah, that's just completely got erased from my memory, to be honest with you.
Pretty much. But at the Accrington game, I think the one maybe high point of that game, it didn't rain as much as it was going to forecast. So I think that's the only good point from that game. But yeah, it was not a good trip up to Lancashire for that game.
We're clutching at straws there, aren't we? If that's the best part of that game.
Yeah, I think that's, to be fair, if it's going to be forecast to rain, if it doesn't rain as bad as it is, that is what I'm taking away from any games.
Yeah,
it didn't get as wet as it was first planned. As you know, I'm never prepared, and normally I get soaked because I don't got waterproof or anything like that. But I will work on that next season, making sure that I'm prepared for any rain, any weather. Bono, let's bring you in there, my friend, to finish off with the worst moments of the season. What are yours? You were a brave man. You went up to Barrow on a Wednesday night. A game which was live on TV. It wasn't a great few weeks, that period. You saw us lose a terrible performance, and somehow that wasn't your worst away game. You put that as your best away day because of the experience and stuff. But I'm interested now to know what your worst moments of the season are going to be.
How do I follow on from the Ipswich and the Sweet Welsh Prince? They've kind of like talking about the rug being taken from under you. Let's address the Sam Morsy thing. Absolutely, your dissection of that was just absolutely fantastic. I think a lot of people, we love him. He's an incredible athlete, and I think and what's important to me is that he seems to be an absolutely right on dude as well when it comes to a lot of things with his approach to life and sports in general. But yeah, there's always that kind of niggling feeling. How many times has he been booked in like the first half for like for a silly challenge? And like Harvey said, it's all about, well, you both mentioned it actually, picking your battles. I love, and this is what Harvey picked up on, Ipswich. I don't know whether you've watched many of these, but I go off on many tangents. Like my brain is like a bit of a spider's web. I'm probably like overdue a very late in life diagnosis of like ADHD or something, but hey, I don't know. I'm doing all right for myself. Yeah, he kind of, I love the shithousery part of his game. Excuse my language, but he does need to pick his battles somewhat, I think. And you just know that whenever any team comes to Portman Road, and we kind of have this like almost like arrogant, but it's not, it's like a confidence thing where we think that these smaller stature clubs come to Ipswich, it's their big day out, and their manager's going to be saying you've got to get into Sam Morsy's head. Which I think is probably a harder thing because he's up here with so many of his attributes. But yeah, a really spot on analysis really of our captain. Other low points, Charlton away. I was really looking forward to that. They're a club very similar to us. Obviously, they nicked all our good players back in the day when we got relegated from the Premier League, of course. Kind of showing my age there a little bit, maybe. That was just a shit night all round, wasn't it? we had a lot of people thinking, could McGreal and Dyer do a decent job? And the football wasn't great. The team selections were puzzling. Did Donasian play left back that night? I think he did, didn't he? At the Valley.
I try to forget about that game because it was bad.
I think obviously the Toto thing at the end. I mean, I was quite far back in the stand. It's funny. I bumped into one of my old schoolmates who's a professional musician, goes all over the world, and saw him. He's London based, and it was great taking 3,500 people down to South London. Obviously, you've got the now legendary Bloomers rant, witnessed by many people, including the Met Police mounted section that stood behind us, ready to pounce on him. Cambridge United at home. I took my girls to that. I wasn't in my usual place in the Cobbold. I was in the Magnus Group West stand. The J block. I was with my girls, and it's funny. My oldest, who's 8, she was like, "I don't like this referee. I don't know what a referee is, Daddy, but a lot of people are shouting at him." And I'm like, "Yeah, too right, because he's shit." Well, his performance was, not him as an individual, obviously. But yeah, they turned up and they completely just tactically kind of outdid us. I'm going to bring a bit of a weird left field worst point of the season, and that was Cheltenham at home. I was with Dan at the Cricket Fella on Twitter, a part of the KOA. I've never seen a team at any level of football, either in person or on the TV, dominate an opposition and just not score. And it's that kind of sinking feeling that's in there when you watch your team do so well. But an important part of football is scoring a goal, and if you can't score, you ain't going to win. And I know that's a terrible football cliche, but it was at that point, and I thought, you know what, we're staying in this league for a 4th season. So, but yeah, you guys mentioned other kind of low points. Barrow away can never be a low point. Fantastic place, lovely ground. It was a you know what, life is an adventure, and Barrow away is part of my tapestry now, boys and girls. So hopefully I'll never go again. No offense to the good people of Barrow Inverness, where they make the submarines and all that, or they're based there or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not a submariner. But yeah, there you go. I think just to kind of round off my thoughts here, I think the easiest thing to say is finishing 11th in League One. We're Ipswich, but there are so many positives. The kind of the whole outlook and the heartbeat of our club. We've finally got it back. I really feel that we've been building this kind of like the fans and the club. We're kind of as one now, which is great. We've not always had it. There's been some points in recent memory where we've never had it, and we've never felt more disconnected from the owners and the manager and stuff like that. But we can consign this season now to the history books, and we look on to next season with personally speaking, with great optimism. So yeah, 22-23, let's bring it on.
Yeah, let's bring it on. My worst moment of the season is finishing 11th in League One. Just put it out there. Oh, you said so. Oh, sorry, but it is of course.
Don't be that guy, Ross. Don't be that guy. Come on, you're better than that.
I'm sorry. But also 4th season League One coming up. But hopefully next season is the one. But let's get right into some more positivity and let's talk about our best moments of the season. It can be personal to you. I'm sure, like anybody, you'll just please be back at Portman Road again, back at going away days and all that sort of stuff. So I'm sorry if I stole your thunder there, but I'm coming in early doors just to cut. Sorry, Harvey. Sorry to all of you, really. But take it away, Ipswich. Where do you want to start your best moment? I'm sure just being back at Portman Road was up there, but anything else you want to mention?
Yeah, I just want to finish my Sam Morsy argument very quickly.
Go for it.
I don't think his aggression is a bad thing. That's not what I was angling at. I just think he needs to apply it better, because he's supposed to be like this seasoned, amazing player, but if you're coming across kind of angry all the time, you can't really expect people to respond to that very well. I just think he could like be more clever about how he's doing it and just throw a few curveballs. He's got the ability to do that. That's the thing. So yeah, that's where I was going with that. Best moments. I have actually quite a few of them, which feels nice. The first one for me, my first favourite best moment was Macaulay Bond's sneaky goal behind the goalkeeper. We all love it. Yeah, I just couldn't believe what I'd witnessed, really. I thought that was one of the best things in the world. It is still my favourite goal of the season, and I know we've had quite a few crackers, like the Selena one, but it's the Bond one for me. It's just the comedy value behind it as well, and the way that the whole stadium just shook when that happened. I was like, wow, this is an incredible thing to be part of. So yeah, that is probably number one. I'd say signing Walton is another. What an incredible goalkeeper he's turned out to be. What I like about Walton actually is he doesn't have this air of ego about him. He just seems really chill, really calm and collected, looks to enjoy his job, cares about the club, but doesn't feel the need to shout about it from the rooftops. I actually really like that. I think it's very refreshing. Fantastic signing, and I really do hope that he is our goalkeeper for the next 3-4 years, whatever. It'd be really nice to see if this is how good he is already, then hopefully we're in for a treat, like a real treat. That'd be just so cool to see that happen. Personal moments is actually going with my cousin. So she has a little girl, she's a single mum. So these days at Portman Road mean so much to her because it's her day of freedom. And we just go there, we let our hair down, we have the world's worst conversations, and it is just so fun. And it's lovely to see her happy and enjoying the game, and she's really invested in it. She's got her favourite players now, and that's all we seem to talk about is when we're next going to Portman Road. So we've really bonded even more so over that. I think another one would be Burns night. I remember saying to my boyfriend for weeks, I was like, oh, I really hope Wes scores on Burns night. That'd be so cool, wouldn't it? And then he did like twice, didn't he? Was it twice? Yeah. I was extremely happy with that. He is my favourite player, that everyone knows that. And that leads on to my next point. 8th of March. This is like the creme de la creme of the season for me. I went to meet my friend in the car park. I had a business meeting and he called Wesley over and I got to meet him, and I just felt my entire heart sink, and I was just like, wow, what a beautiful Celtic man that is standing before me. I have to go now. And I just walked so quickly out of there. But yeah, highlight of the season, meeting Wes was lovely. Very unexpected. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but yeah, shook his hand, told him that he looked nice, and walked off. So yeah, no, lots of really good moments, but just generally I think the atmosphere is just something I look forward to, knowing that I'm going to go and have a day out with my friends, and the vibe's just so nice at Portman Road, especially the last few games now that the weather's getting better. We're leaving as the sun is setting, you know, when we're there, it's just beaming down on us, and when we win, it's a lovely feeling. But I think out of all of that, nothing beats a game under the lights, does it? What is that about? Why does it feel so special? I don't know, but yeah, 8th of March, we did win that game actually as well. Can't remember who it was against. I know it was the team all yellow because of the Ukraine war thing.
Oh, what was the game?
Was it
I do
Lincoln?
not know. Yeah, it could be Lincoln. Yeah, I think it was Lincoln. It was
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
It was Lincoln. Yeah, 1-0 win.
That was a fairly good game actually. I enjoyed that whole day. I woke up feeling like something really good was going to happen, but I didn't think it was going to be that good. So very special place in my heart. 8th of March.
There we go. Keep it in your calendar. And yeah, we echo your thoughts. And like many people, Wes Burns is a beautiful man and also a good footballer, of course. And just yeah, what a signing.
Right, but
Yeah, he's all right.
No,
But
cool.
yeah, he's been fantastic this season. You know, signing of the summer, all those goals, fair play to the man. Harvey, you're a fellow Welshman. What has been your best moments of the season, my friend?
Well, two of them were away days in Christian Walton, but I don't blame both for picking them because, it was great to be. I think I was at the first away game, Burton. I think that was the first away game, wasn't it? If I remember rightly, back in August. And although we lost that game and we had the whole Scott Fraser sliding doors moment with scoring about 150 penalties in a row and then, of course, missing his first one for Ipswich, I went away from that kind of not really caring about the result as such because it was just so good to be back. And we've just been mentioned there about that release at a game, and there really is nothing better. We all have our separate lives and we all work during the week and we all have shit weeks and good weeks or whatever, but on that Saturday or Sunday, whatever it is so good for 90 minutes that the stress of the week is just completely forgotten about. I go with my dad and I meet up with you lot there as well, and it's brilliant. It really is good. So that after the last few years that we've had is 100% the highlight of the season for me. I should have actually brought Burton up as one of the low points as well because I was locked in a car park with my dad for about an hour and a half, 2 hours after the game, which was far from ideal. Genuinely thought at one point I was going to have to sleep in the car park. That was not good. But
why are we only just finding out about this, Harvey?
I did mention it at the time. I had to phone, I was told to phone the fire brigade and everything. We were the last car in the car park, and then all of a sudden we were there till about 6:30, 7 o'clock. It was not good. It was not good. So yeah, that's all part of the experience, isn't it? But Walton again, he was unbelievable. But if those were kind of my two main ones, but I'll go a little bit left field here. But one of the moments that I liked, I would say, those were two of my favourite. One of the moments that I liked was at Fleetwood away, and the reason I say that is because it was 0-0, wasn't it, up until about 60 odd minutes, and I remember McKenna making a substitution where he took, I think, could be wrong, I think he took Piggott off for Backinson, or he took a striker off anyway for Backinson, a midfielder, and I remember sat there saying to my dad, I don't get that substitution at all. It's 0-0. We need to win this game to keep our playoff hopes alive. And he brings on a midfielder. It's a really strange kind of substitution, and it turned out to be the absolute perfect substitution in that moment. And that, to me, was when I kind of sat back and thought, wow, we've actually got a manager here who can make really effective in-game substitutions. We had Cook, who would refuse to move away from 4-2-3-1. In fact, I think the only time he moved to a different system was his last game at Barrow. I think in the second half he went to 4-4-2 for the first time, didn't he? Which effectively cost him his job. So that moment was a real moment where I thought, we've finally got a manager in charge who sees things differently, and who doesn't just put a striker on for another striker, like I would have done if I was on the touchline, for example. So it's good to know that we've got a coach who really knows what he's doing, who's really tactically aware, tactically flexible. So that moment was a real kind of eye opener for me, especially seeing it in the flesh. It was good to see the impact. You could see within 5 minutes we had more control of the game, which in turn gave our attackers more freedom, and then we ended up winning 2-0. So that's one of my favourite moments. But the ultimate one for me, as I said, is just being back in grounds again, and it was brilliant just to be with everyone and seeing Ipswich Town play again.
Indeed, my friend. It was nice to see you in Burton after a good year of not seeing you. And the first thing I got you to do was hold my camera to do my intro. So thanks for doing that.
All part of the service, my friend. All part of the service.
Yeah, I think everybody part of the Kings of Anglia Fans Social have all at some stage had to hold my camera at some point because I need it holded. So thanks to everyone who have done it throughout the season. Over to you then, Bono. Best moments of the season for you. It's been an interesting season. But take it away, my friend.
Best moments of the season. The ridiculous transfer window at the start. It was like being in a football manager game. For those of you that don't know, I am a massive fan. Had I not had Football Manager in my life for 25 years, I would probably be a professor of some weird shit right now, but I'm not. But I've got Football Manager. So, hey, yeah, all those sign-ins, just a lot of them were completely by surprise, contrary to the in the know type thing. That's a thing. Let's think. This, you know what? For a season where we finished 11th, boo, in League One, leading to a 4th season, we've had so many highs. The game changer chaps, Brett, Burke, and Mark, just fantastic. Meeting Ed Swartz after one of the games and kind of walking towards the railway station, having a chat with him. That was absolutely fantastic. You know what? There's actually been loads. I've really enjoyed Charlton. The last game, obviously, we won 4-0. It was a little bit of a here's what you could have won type thing. It's like, where's this performance come from? Nothing to play for. You know, the shackles are off, and they're kind of like we're bloody good. The Bond moment, yeah, I like that. I mean, you know, that's something that we will probably not see ever. I know Luton did it against Reading a couple of weeks ago, but just seeing that in the flesh was just like, holy guacamole! This is just, you know, it's worth the entrance fee alone. Just seeing that sort of entertainment, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, I don't know. I'm rubbish when I'm put on the spot about this sort of thing.
I sent you the plan this morning to have a think about this.
I know. I've had other stuff on. You know what? Well, yeah. Kieran McKenna. You know, I was a massive when I heard the Neil Harris rumor, and I've got people that know Neil, and that was, I won't say it was nailed on because obviously it wasn't, but I did a lot of research into like his stuff, and I thought, yeah, Neil Harris, he's gonna get us playing again, and I don't care how we play as long as we win, and if it's 4-4-2 long ball, I don't care because we're going to win every game 3-2, and it's going to be really, really entertaining. And then when the McKenna news broke, and you know the news came to light, you know, it was a little bit slow starting in terms of kind of getting to know the guy, but my goodness, I've said this before on the pod, and I've said it before online, but I really do think we're in the presence of greatness, and you kind of feel so privileged as a fan that you've got an absolute, I'm not going to say genius, but an absolute mastermind in terms of tactics, recruitment, you know, youth pathways, things like that. It's just, I think the overriding positive thing for me is just the feeling of positivity. And it's kind of like, if you were to get a set of scales, it's like the positivity is so good, you almost forget that you're in League One, because, you know, we're getting 25,000 people, you know, like Ipswich said, we've got the atmosphere back, the noise on my right hand side when I'm in the U2, and I've got section 6 and the Sir Bobby Robson lower going absolutely bat guano crazy, you know, and it's just having that back after not going because of the worldwide pandemic. And you know, I'm a realism type guy. You know, football is great, football is really, really important, but you know, there was more important stuff going on in the world. But to actually get back, and that feeling of the you know, that first game was obviously fantastic. Was it Bon or Bacaulay Mon, as I call him, scored that? Is it last minute winner or equaliser? I can't remember. It's so long ago, wasn't it?
It felt like a winner, but it was an equaliser.
Yes. So it was like a draw snatched from the jaws of defeat, wasn't it? But we've had so many of those, like last minute winners, wonder goals, just, yeah, there's so much to be hopeful for. That, you know, next season has to be our season, really, doesn't it? But yeah, really a fantastic value for money. going to more away games, just hearing about some of the improvements that are absolutely fantastic ownership group are going to be making to the grounds, the game day experience, the fan zone. You know, as has been mentioned before, it's great having, you know, how good are we as a club when we have more people in our fan zone before the game than some clubs that we're going to be playing's record attendances, you know. But there's no point having 4,500 people in a fan zone if it's going to take 45 minutes to get a pint, you know. So I'm looking forward to shorter queues. Hopefully we can get some of those bottomless pints that they have in like major sporting arenas and stuff like that. But yeah, I could talk about this for a long time.
I just hope we play more in the style of how we did in the last game next season, because I was really surprised. Like, I just thought, who are the team? Like, they've woken up. There's a completely different way as to how they're playing, and they had that competitive aggression that's been lacking for so long. It was just like someone had lit the spark and the flame has started again. So whether maybe McKenna was trying out a tactic he hadn't done yet, and he thought, well, I've got nothing to lose on the last game, why don't we try this? And maybe next season we will apply that a little bit better. I think with the fan zone, sorry to interrupt you, I just had all these like thoughts in my head.
Go for it.
I'd really love to see, and this is just my business head talking, but I'd love to see more local businesses in the fan zone. I think it'd be a really good way to implement independent businesses, you know, fans of the football club who might have small businesses. Like, I know a few people in Ipswich who do, and just to give them a platform, even if it is for a couple of hours, a little stall, it widens their network and it widens the whole community as a whole. And I think that'd just be a really unique thing. I don't know of any other football club that does anything like that. But again, that's just me thinking, oh, that'd be a good idea. But it might not be in theory, but I don't know.
I'm sure the club are going to be working hard. Hopefully they'll improve the fan zone, you know, from doing stuff, what you just said, and just improving it for the experience-wise. I'm sure that is going to be the main hub before a game. Yeah. Everyone come down to the fan zone. You got this, you got that, different activities, different entertainment. Hopefully shorter, you know, beer queues for you, Bono, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, best and worst moments.
Sorry, just quickly, I was just going to say, and obviously you lot know that I'm not fortunate enough to get to Portman Road as often as I'd like to, but I think it's important we remember as well that Bono mentioned there, and rightly so, we're getting 25, 26,000 in League One. It wasn't that long ago when we were getting 12, 13,000. And, you know, fans were going because, well, I've got to go, you know, I've got to support the lads. And there was no excitement there, was there really? You know, and it goes to show how much, although I say how much has changed, it hasn't in terms of where we are. You know, we're in League One, which isn't ideal, but that feel good factor we haven't had at this club for so many years. You know, and under Evans, under Mick, under Lambert, you know, all this dreadful football we had to witness, and I follow in the pandemic and that kind of thing. You know, it's important to I think to realise that although it hasn't clicked on the pitch as much as we'd like yet, you know, we've come such a long way to those kind of horrible times where, you know, you could tell on I follow there's just you know, it was soulless. You know, fans didn't have the energy to get behind the team because, quite frankly, why should they? You know, the club weren't putting the fans first. So, you know, in theory, why should the fans put the club first? But that's changed. You know, in 12 months, Mark Ashton and Game Changer have been in charge. The amount of, you know, off the field stuff is just, you know, it's night and day, isn't it, really, compared to where we were? So it's really good, and it's hopefully, you know, there's so many things going on, as Ashton says, regularly, and hopefully we'll see more and more over the coming months and years to come.
I think as well, like when I first went in 2019, there wasn't that buzz that there is now, and that's really not that long ago. Even as a newbie, I mean, that's a night and day difference. And yeah, you know, no one wants to finish 11th. No one wants to feel disappointed in their boys, you know. But I was talking to, who was I talking to the other day? I was talking to somebody about this, as I do. But we are, when you think about it, when we look back at this 10, 20 years from now, this is potentially the bare bones of a really good period of history for Ipswich. And
Definitely.
if it does go the way that we'd like it to go, we're really lucky to witness that. And, you know, your team, I know they've got to give to us and they've got to do their job 100%. But you also can't expect a team of men to feed off an audience that isn't giving them anything. So it is like a two-way street, isn't it? So if we give to them, hopefully they'll give to us. Hopefully Wes Burns will give me a match-worn t-shirt as well. Just put it out there. Yeah, you know, I think it's definitely, it's a two-way street, isn't it? And you can't have a garden bloom without caring for it at the end of the day. I saw how miserable my boyfriend was in the Evans era. Oh my God, if that ever happens again, I just think I'd push him off a cliff or something. He was so miserable. So hopefully it won't ever come back to that. But no, I like McKenna. I think he's a bit of a dark horse. Don't think we've seen the best of him yet. He's not giving his game away.
It's unbelievable words from all of you tonight. It's been
cryptic. My goodness me.
I like it.
I love this.
Like it.
I love this.
It's been fantastic. We have a little break here, a little briefer with a bit of fun, a bit of the strike. Of course, we've got this strike invitational coming soon, so look out for that. I know you are a newbie to Ipswich Town Football Club, so we'll take it easy on you. The questions are on the released players actually. So Thomas Holy, Tom Carroll, Miles Kenlock, and also James Norwood. And also there is a question on Giovanni Dos Santos, who had his birthday yesterday. So I don't know if you will know this man, Ipswich, because he was before your time. 2008 he came, but he's the Mexican magician. He's an unbelievable player. And that is actually the first question. He's on Giovanni Dos Santos.
Let's just put that out there. An unbelievable player.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't need him back. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, he's 33 now. I know the club put out a tweet and a lot of Town fans saying, "Oh, could we sign him?" I know he's a free agent, but he's 33 and he has been playing in Mexico and the American for the last few years. So there is. Bono's not with us, and I don't really know if I want to start the strike without him, but we may have to. So we're going to have to find something to talk about. So
let me ask for your opinion then, Ross.
Here we go.
Do you think Gio would be a good signing on a free again? My point was he was a brilliant loanee, one of the best we had 15 years ago. In the last 3, 4, 5 years, he's made about 18 appearances. For me, that's just not where we want to be, and that was my point. And I completely respected the fact that he was a brilliant loanee, but again, it was in 2008, and a lot's changed since then, and it's just a waste of a wage for me. But I want to know your opinion.
I agree with you, mate. He's 33. He's probably wanting a decent wage. He's been playing in Mexico and America the last few years. I'm sure he's wanting that. But let's remember him as he was back in 2008, where he came on the scene and scored some cracking goals. The game against Norwich sort of stands out for me. He scored the penalty and also just had a great day. And that was the last time we beat Norwich as well. Sorry to repeat that on air, guys, but that is the truth of it. We haven't beaten them since 2000, whatever. Yeah. But yeah. Okay, Bono's back with us. So let's get right into the strike. And let's start off with the man, Giovanni Dos Santos. I'll get a picture of him up so you can see his little face. Look at him. His little face. Oh. Now, Giovanni Dos Santos joined Town on loan from which club? Was it Arsenal, Spurs, or Chelsea? So, Ipswich, I know you're sort of the underdog going into this strike because
I am. I'm just going to have to do a random pick, I think.
Just go for it. But yeah, Arsenal, Spurs, or Chelsea? What do you reckon?
I've got really fond memories of Gio. Bless him.
Yeah, good player.
All right, I'm ready. Just want to say congratulations to everyone for winning in advance.
It's fine. You never know. It could be underdog. Could come out of nowhere. Dark horse, like McKenna. It could be a dark horse. You never know.
Maybe.
Okay, take it away. So Spurs, Bono. All Spurs, I think.
No, I don't think you can see that.
Little bit across, Harvey.
Oh.
Yeah, all have gone Spurs, and you are correct. It is Spurs. So it is 1-1-1. What a good start. Our next question is on this man, and he is a very tall man indeed. And that is Thomas Holy. What a fine gentleman.
Oh,
Of
look
course,
at that
left the
beard.
club. Yeah,
What a
very
beard.
good beard.
What a beard.
Very good beard. Now, how many clean sheets did he keep? Let me just get rid of the answer because I've kept the answer in the question. So just remove that for a second. But there we go. How
Classic
many clean
Ross.
sheets? Classic me. How many clean sheets did Thomas Holy keep in 65 games for Town? At the end of the question mark, I actually had the answer. So thankfully, I got rid of it before I appeared the question. How many clean sheets do you reckon? Of course, he had a great start of his Town career. Of course, was breaking records left, right, and centre in the first League One season, or equaling records. And I think the one game he was about to break it, we then conceded. How many clean sheets do you reckon Thomas Holy kept? Okay, take it away.
One random guess again.
It's fine. 24, 37, 19.
No, 19.
19 is 28. So who's the closest there? Let's use our maths. 37. What did you go for, Harvey?
24.
So Harvey is the closest, but good effort, both of you. Maybe not you, Bono. You sort of given a bit of a disservice there, Holy. But yeah.
I don't blame you, Bono. I don't blame you.
No, he was.
Thank you.
It was
for those people listening, I've got my power hat on now. So it's summertime. The sun's out. Beers are flowing. Bono's got his hat on. Special hat.
Love it. Quick costume change.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where I disappeared.
Yeah, I knew it.
Knew it.
It wasn't to go through. Sorry?
You like Mr. Ben?
Pretty much, yeah. It wasn't to go for another week because I've had 3 beers, but there you go. Once you get to my age. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, question number 3. Let's thank you, Ross. Yes, I was born in 1993. Yes, totally. Or whatever.
Yes.
Whenever 30 years ago was.
Indeed. The next question is on this man. Only one season at the football club, and it is Tom Carroll. Now, what shirt number did he wear this season? Was it 15, 19, or 25? What shirt number did he wear?
I love my shirt numbers, Ross. I like this one.
Yeah.
I wasn't a Tom Carroll fan. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I don't think many people were. He, didn't hit the heights we were probably hoping for. But Tom Carroll, what number? But as you know, he loves his squad number, so he's probably he knew straight away. I saw you on the bottom of the screen when I put the picture up. I saw you on the bottom of the screen. Yep, know that already.
That's just because I need a life, quite frankly, Ross. That's why.
No comment. Well, put your answers up and let's see who is getting the point. Yeah, we are all 25, so it is 3-2 going into the final question. So Harvey can win it on this final question, but also someone can steal it. If you get it bang on, you win. But if you get it closest and you are got the same as Harvey, then go to a tiebreaker. So the final question is on this man. Bear with me. I'm still trying to get used to this system. Bear with me. It is on this man who I, as you all know, didn't think he was very good footballer. Miles Kenlock, of course, finished his time at Colchester, been released after 8 years at the football club. Now, how many assists did he get in 103 games for Town? Because he never scored a Town goal. I think he was trying to claim a goal, I think back in 2017 or something. I think it was an own goal in the end. I think he was trying to claim it, but it wasn't his goal. But how many assists do you reckon? 103 games. As I said, if you get it spot on, you get 2 points. Closest to correct answer gets a point. I don't think anyone's going to get bang on. If you do, then well done. But I doubt you will because it's I don't know. It's a hard answer, really. 103 games. You'd hope you've got at least a good amount of assists because he's a left back. But as you know, he wasn't that very good. My opinion.
Yeah, I can't tell if I've gone too high or too low with this.
I've just realised I've named it tiebreaker. I've clicked on the wrong one. There we go. Question 4. Yeah. Question 4. How many assists? I think this was originally going to be a tiebreaker, but then I just sort of changed my mind to do a different tiebreaker. So, but it doesn't matter. So, okay then. Well, Harvey, you go first as you are in the lead, and then we'll go across the room for the rest of it. So what are you going for, my friend?
I got no idea. Similar to Ipswich, I've got no idea whether I've gone way too low here or what. But from the Miles Kenlock that I know and remember, I've gone for 12. And I'm sorry, Miles, if I've done you a disservice there, but that's what I've gone for.
Okay. Ipswich, take away. What do you reckon?
I've tried to halve it and then like lose a bit, so 42. But it feels too high. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'll stick with it now.
I'm sorry to say, yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely not 42.
No.
I wish it was. I really wish it was.
Yeah, but it isn't. Good effort though. But no. Bono, what do you reckon? Are you going to steal it? 3. You're close. Harvey does win overall because he's the closest. So a tiebreaker is not going to be needed, but it is 9 assists out of 103 games. 9 assists. So Harvey does win.
When? Ross, when did he get 9 assists?
Well, I don't know, mate. I just found the stat. I didn't go through the games he got assists.
Right. I'm just going to raise a really important but quick point. Sometimes stats are rubbish because they mean nothing. Who got the pre-assists? That's all I care about.
Yeah. To be fair, one of them could be a pre-assist. I've just got up from a page and they say 9 assists, 103 games. So I'm taking what they say is right. I think he did get an assist last season. He actually made like a really good ball. And I was like, okay, Miles, fair play. You're still rubbish, but fair play. Good assist.
He definitely had his what's-its on the walk to the ground from where he lives.
He did.
He's turned into
well
like
done,
a prime
Harvey.
Jordi Alba since he's been at Colchester. He's
scoring
got
goals
like
and stuff like that.
4 goals and 3. He's proving you wrong, Ross. That's what it is. He's got a poster of you every night, and he's talking to that poster saying, "I'm gonna make a career." Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I think he's a nice guy. He's a nice lad. But I think it was definitely right time for him to go. Shall we use the tiebreaker? Because why not?
Yeah, why not?
And Harvey, do you want to gamble if either Ipswich or Bono get it bang on, they actually win overall? Are you happy to risk it?
You only live once, don't you? You only live once.
Oh yes,
Risk it
my boy. Well done, Harvey. Good
There we
sport.
go.
He's a good egg. Good egg.
Is. So the question is on James Norwood, of course, part of the release players. Now, how many goals did James Norwood score? Let me get a picture of James Norwood up quickly.
James Norwood, here we go.
There we go. It's James Norwood, of course, celebrating his final goal for the club.
Last goal,
of course. Now, how many goals did James Norwood score in 42 games at Portman Road? Overall, he scored 28 goals in 89 games. So I've mixed up the question a little bit here.
Cool.
So, how many goals did he score at Portman Road in 42 games? So 28 goals in total. Do you reckon he halved it or whatever? I thought I brought you that extra fact there just to sort of help you out a little bit. Sorry, Harvey, if I've sort of helped your competitors out here. But if you get a bang on, you win you win fantastically. So there we go. What do you reckon then? 42 games, how many goals at Portman Road? Okay, well, whoever's ready. We'll start.
No, wait. Let me think about this.
It's fine.
Should we go around? Let's go around the room. So, ladies first.
I think this is too low. I've gone for 15.
Okay. $19.
Oh, I need to put 19 as well. Oh, well.
I've actually gone. I could have completely messed this up. I've actually gone for 14.
Well, good thing for you, Harvey. No one's got a bang on, so you are still the overall champion. And the closest to the correct answer is actually Harvey. It's 12. 12 goals. So Harvey does win overall. So there we go.
Scribbled out 12.
Oh my!
Oh no!
That is a
Trust your instinct.
move.
Yeah.
That is going forward for your next appearances on the podcast. Always trust your gut, all the other bits and bobs, because if you change it, sometimes it's the wrong decision. But Harvey, you've won the strike this week. Another good addition. And now it's time for the hot takes. The hot potato going into the summer. Let's start off with Twitch. What was your hot takes going into this summer? A very different summer to last year because, of course, we didn't have as many released this summer. Last year, 19 signings, 20 players leaving. We very much everything was up in the air. Really, we didn't know what was going on. But this summer, we've got a little bit of our squad we've got a core of a squad, but there's a few players maybe still missing and all that sort of stuff. But what's your hot takes going into this summer?
Yeah, I think definitely some fine tuning's needed. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit fed up of talking to people who are overly optimistic about it, who are like, oh yeah, you know, we've got it licked, whatever. I think there's still some work that needs to be done. Can't lie. But yeah, no, I think we're on the right track, definitely. Like, you know, we're at the station now, we're ready to go. We need to pick up a few players along the way. Part of me, this is just purely from a heartfelt statement. I put something similar to this on my Instagram the other day. I'd love it if we gave on another chance. And I know many people would probably disagree with that. But that boy, he really, really does play for the shirt. And I think under the right guidance, a little bit more, maybe a little bit more confidence and belief, I reckon he'd do really well. Because when you think back to it, obviously he had a cracking start, didn't he? And so there's something about how Paul Cook managed him that worked. And that's kind of been lost under McKenna a little bit. So maybe there's a lack of aggression, a lack of style. I'm not sure. I don't go to their meetings. I don't know what they're talking about. But I really do think he deserves another shot. And maybe that's just because I really like him as a player. I don't know. I'd love to see that. But yeah, I don't know if it's a hot take or not. I think it's more of a wish than a hot take. What I'd like to see is better linesmen. Again, that's probably pushing it. But probably just like a really nice, massive home game. You know, July 30th, we go there with bells on. We've got our blue shirts on. Everybody's happy. Everybody's ecstatic to be there. You know, let's get the show on the road, really. I do think there will be a couple of signings, but I don't know. I've been seeing who people are kind of throwing out there. Oh, this person, maybe we could sign them, what have you. I've been hearing it on the pods. I don't know if we'll get any of those people. I just think Kieran McKenna's just going to do something kind of unusual, a little bit unexpected, and maybe we just need to trust that and see where it goes. I'm not sure. But yeah, I also think we may well see more of the owners next season. And that's just like a gut feeling thing. I reckon we'll just see more of them there. Maybe they'd like to look at their investment a little bit more and, get more people involved. But I think really the hot takes for me will be just working on that amazing environment that Portman Road are providing for people. You know, I took my friend at the last game, my friend Liz, you know, she brought her 2 little girls and her 5-year-old loved it. Like, she stayed the whole game. She was like shouting over to the players, like she really wanted to meet them. And it was just lovely to see that. I don't think many people would view a football pitch as a safe place to take their kids, but actually it's such a fun place for them to be because they can burn off all their mad energy and then they actually sleep that night. But one thing I'd like to really thank Portman Road for, when I first started going after lockdown, I had huge panic attacks at Portman Road, which is why I sit in the Cobbolds, because it's lower ground. Can't do Bobby Robson anymore. Vertigo, blah, blah, blah. The paramedics there are so nice. They are the nicest people. I felt so looked after. I did email the club just to say thank you, and they were like, it's absolutely fine. I thought that'd just be a nice thing to mention because I saw that it's Mental Health Week this week, Awareness Week. So yeah, just a massive thank you to everyone at Portman Road who kind of helped me get over my anxiety and just enjoy the game. It was nice to know that you're looked after for sure. So yeah, all good from me.
Yes. Well said, and some great hot takes there. I do hope we have got a big first game of the season. Of course, no one's too difficult to start off the season. We want to finish the season off or start the season with a win. But I'm just a nice sort of homecoming back at Portland Road on July 30th. A nice sunny day and a nice big win to start the season off with a bang, pretty much. Harvey, your hot takes, my friend. I've given you the power. What are you thinking is going to happen? And Ipswich, you were sort of good point about Kieran McKenna. I think he's going to go very left field with some of these signings, and he's going to bring a bit of a hot take to all of us. Like, here we go. This is my signings. But Harvey, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, some really good points. Really good points. I think it's really important that we go to these games and we do feel comfortable, and everyone feels that they can enjoy it in their own way. And yeah, it's good that you feel comfortable doing that, and the more people that we can get to games, and the better. So it's brilliant to hear. Yeah, the recruitment thing is going to be interesting, isn't it? Because we don't really know what kind of players McKenna wants, because he's never. I know we had the January window, but the Backinson signing was that an Ashton move. We don't know really, but yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I think we are going to see a few left field signings because, as I said, we don't know how McKenna's going to treat the transfer window really. Whether he's going to go, he doesn't strike me as someone who wants a massive squad. I think it is going to be quantity over quality. We know that was the complete opposite last summer, so it's going to be interesting. I feel sorry for Bon, I really do. I just wanted to bring up Macaulay Bon quickly because I love him as a bloke, and I really, really do. And I felt horrible saying that. I've said time and time again that I wouldn't have him back next season, and the reason why I wouldn't have him back is because I don't think he's a bad striker, because he's clearly not a bad striker. He scored 12 goals in 12 games, or whatever ridiculously good start he had. I just don't think he fits what Kieran McKenna wants in a striker. It's difficult to say, but with Macaulay Bon, he's good at a lot of things, but I don't think he's excellent at anything. And that's a really weird thing to say, but he's not frighteningly quick like Jackson is, for example. Jackson's obviously got his limitations that we all know. He's not brilliant, I would say, at linking play particularly well, like maybe a Piggott could be. Not that I'm saying Piggott's the answer, because I don't think he is. So I just don't think he's got a quality that you think definitely, yeah, he can really lead the line. And I think that's what McKenna has ultimately decided, that he's going to send it back, and judging by Bon's kind of message on Instagram, post on Instagram, it doesn't sound like Bon necessarily thinks that he is going to be re-signing. But it's a shame, because I love him as a bloke, and he's so passionate. And you're right, if we had 11 Macaulay Bons in the team that fight for the shirt as much as he does, it would be brilliant. So yeah, I'll be interested to see where he does end up if it's not at Ipswich. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent. My hot take, my main hot take for next year, and I was thinking about this today, what it would be, and I was looking at the League One table, and I think this is probably optimistic, but Ipswich Town will not go into double figures next year in terms of losses. So if you look at the top six, I think 2 of the top 6 have lost 9 games or more. The rest of the top 6 it's all been in 9 or less. So I don't know whether you can have a quick look across. I can't remember what the 2 teams were that was, but I don't think we'll lose more than 9 games next season. So I don't think we'll go into double figures in terms of losses. That's my hot take. I think we might draw a few along the way, but McKenna has made us really, really difficult to beat. And when he puts his stamp on the team as well, with his recruitment, with a proper pre-season, I think we'll be even more solid. And if you would have said that to me this time, last year or a few months on, where we were leaking goals for fun under Cook, I would have laughed in your face. But we're a really, really solid outfit now. I honestly don't think we're going to lose many games next season. There might maybe the odd 0-0 or whatever, but I just don't see it. So that's my hot take. It'll be 9 or less losses next season, I think.
I think it's doable if Ipswich get rid of the ego that they have, like it was mentioned earlier, because it is obvious. They think, we've got 25,000 fans in here, we don't need to try. You do need to try, actually, because those people have shown up for you. So
Cambridge being a prime example a few weeks before. I was one of those egos. I remember waking up thinking, this will be easy today. You know,
Does it irritate me though? Because I feel I'm getting angry now, but I feel like when some of the players are on the pitch and they just feel like they're God's gift to the world, and it's like, actually, come on, we have to win this. Like, being arrogant isn't going to help. Being ignorant about it isn't going to help. We're here to watch you. We support you. We're right behind you. But just give us something, please. Don't make us go home and cry on the train, you know.
And sadly, Bono sometimes that man on the train, probably crying after losing against Cambridge and those sort of teams. But I echo both your thoughts because I think going into this season, I know there's a lot of positivity, but still a lot of hard work to do. We've still got to beat the teams who, this season we couldn't beat any of the promoted teams. We only got 4 points, weren't it, out of the possible whatever points it is. So that's got to be an improvement. But Bono, over to you then, my friend. The final hot takes of the podcast. What have you got for me?
Hot take. Wow, what a subject to talk about. Okay, let's do some a hot take lightning round. We won't even sign half the amount of players that we did last summer. We'll still be playing in blue. We are going to go on an unbeaten run, which we've never seen before at the start of this 22-23 season. I think it's going to be just absolutely wunderbar. Other hot takes. I think we're gonna take more points because we're gonna take more points from the top of the league, because this season all the points came from like the middle, like echelons. So there's a word for you. The middle echelons of the league. We're actually going to beat. We're going to beat some of the promoted teams, which we really struggled with. I think tactically, Kieran McKenna is like I've said earlier, is an absolute mastermind, and we're going to need to learn how to break down these teams that are happy to come here, not necessarily to stop us playing, but not to lose. And I think that's the making of a good team. Is, you look at some of the real powerhouses in world kind of club football, they have to go to teams that defend and stop them playing. And Cambridge United, bless them, I worked in Cambridge for many years, so I do have a bit of a soft spot for them. And I was gutted just to see them come out, and just a lot of our players quite predictable. And I've said it before, as much as I love Wesley Burns, he is an absolutely beautiful man. John Watson and I, when John joins him in the U2 and Wes Burns is majestically running down that right wing, John and I, we're quite happy just to shout out, Wesley Burns, you beautiful man. I
keep my thoughts to myself, but I'm glad someone's saying that.
Well, no, the Cobbold is a safe space. You can think whoever you want is beautiful, because in your eyes they are. But people like Wes, who are fantastic what they do, when they can't do what they're good at, they're going to need to learn to do something else to be just as good in another way, whether it's going around the outside, cutting inside, doing a deep cross instead of one from the byline. I don't know. But other hot takes, Ross, we could go on for hours. I know we're limited, time constraints and what have you. But I just think next season is going to be fantastic. I think the new kit, wow, it's going to be amazing. That's my hot take.
Yeah, I just wanted to just 2 points, just very, very quickly on Burns. I think team.
Have I upset you? Have I upset you? I know he's Welsh.
He's Welsh. I protect my own. Okay, that's all I'll say.
Technically, I am. My nan is Welsh, although she's from Chelmsford. So go figure. Maybe it's like a little enclave of like miners or something.
You probably sound more Welsh than I do. Anyone speaking to me wouldn't believe I was Welsh. But I noticed with Burns, just quickly, he seemed to struggle more, Burns, when we would play against the 4-2-3-1, because against a three, like you saw at prime example at the end of the season, Charlton were 3-5-2, and Burns had a license. It was what he was 1v1 majority of the time. The issue with the 4-2-3-1 is that they're doubling up on him every single time. They're targeting our right hand side, which is the obvious strength that we've got. And he seemed to. That's where Burns seemed to come short a little bit. So I think if we have an answer on the left hand side, they'd have it from kind of both sides, wouldn't they? So I think that's something that needs to be improved on. And just one that's come to my head quickly as well is set pieces. Please, it's so frustrating. Honestly, we get corners in games, and you know when you're at a game and you get a corner and the fans go, oh, get all excited. But when we get a corner, I'm just like, oh yeah, corner, because I know we won't score it, and it's the most frustrating thing on the planet. If McKenna targets anyone in the summer, please, someone who can take a good set piece, because we've got. And I'm not saying that Cameron Burgess is the answer at centre back, but if you go back and look at Burgess' stats for Accrington in the season before we signed him, he scored 7 or 8 goals from centre back. And I know Accrington play a completely different style to we do. Every set piece they get, they launch it in the box, so it's different. But we've got Burgess who can score goals. He's 6'4". We've got Edmondson 6'3". Wolfie 6'4". We've got.
You know what? You're so right, and I'm sorry to cut across you there. It's very ungentlemanly of me, but obviously where I sit in the now famous, thanks to me, U2 section, I'm dead in line with that dead ball line and the corner flag, and I can't figure it out. I can't make head nor tail of it, because when you see the corner taker set it up and you see the players moving around and you get all the cajoling and holding, which is sadly part of modern football, I can't work out how we don't score more goals. And what I always say is, maybe is a bit of a defense mechanism, I'm not bothered where goals come from, right? And we've been really lucky at Portman Road to see some absolute worldies. Personally, I'd like to see more Thunderbastards, if I'm allowed to say that on a family show. Morsey's got to learn to hit a ball from 30 yards and actually absolutely smash that net. But we've not had decent set pieces at Portman Road for such a long time. But like I said, when you see like Chappers, he can hit a really good dead ball, and you see the players moving around. We have so many headers and shots that just miss, that just go over, that just go wide, to get parried by the goalkeeper. And when you're watching Quest on a Saturday night, hopefully we won't be on Quest. And that's like a running joke in my household. You see the record button or like icon pop up. Oh, Quest is recording. Watch that in the morning type thing. You see so
not
many
even going to be
clubs.
it from next season. I think they've lost the rights, haven't they, to it, Quest next season?
ITV, I think it's on ITV.
Yeah.
I think it's on ITV.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I know Quest. I think they're good. They're good as well.
No. Tell me, Colin Murray is still going to be presenting it, right?
Don't think so. And I like Colin Murray as well. I think he's brilliant. I know.
No,
Shocking.
Paul Cook.
I'm off.
Yeah.
Paul Cook. Who? I'm joking.
He might be out of a job. He might be looking for a presenter job soon if he carries on the way he is at Chesterfield.
But yeah, no. I mean, just to draw a line on set pieces, I don't think it's as big as a problem as what we made out, because we get our goals from other places. But if we weren't scoring at all, and we were getting like 10 corners a game and 5 free kicks or whatever, then that would obviously be a concern. But yeah, I think that's one. We've seen so much promise, haven't we, in the way we play, our build up, our press, our counter attack, our defending. We're kind of almost there in so many areas, but the whole set piece thing is just.
There was a point in the season. There was a point in the season where Dominic Thompson was on corners, and I just thought, do you know what?
I love Dom, or Millie. His nickname's Millie, weirdly.
Millie, Millie on Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah, but Ipswich, you were we overspoke over you, so you were going to say.
I interrupted. I didn't mean to. I can't remember what I said.
Go for it.
Yes, what I said. So I think I've seen this a lot when I've watched Ipswich play. Once they have a chance, they panic.
Mm.
And I don't know if that is a manager problem or if it's just a them problem. But
Definitely
I'd really
them.
like to,
Definitely them.
yeah, I'd like to see that worked on a little bit more. Like that ego that they apply at times when they don't need it needs to be applied then we'd score.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just bish bash bosh this. But yeah, no, I think with Wes, actually, one thing he does that I'm not a fan of is he tends to miss passes and just go for the shot when he probably shouldn't. Like, I don't know if it's where I'm sitting, the angle looks funny, but I just think he's going to miss that, and he does. When actually he's got a striker ready. I've seen it happen with Bono a few times. Like, Bon is ready to go. It's all good. It's all set up. But no, maybe he's just won too many awards now. I don't know.
Never too many awards for that man.
But I'm not
Maybe.
sure. Yeah, no, I'm
maybe
sure.
that's what Bernard Selena is talking to him about on the beaches of Marbella as we're recording this. Obviously, we're seeing the whole Wes Burns social media phenomena. Who knows? Maybe he's logged out of Twitter.
I don't have
You
Twitter.
need Twitter.
I'm not a
Twitter.
Twitter fan. No.
Oh, what?
No.
Come on.
No, I'm not a fan of it. I'm an Instagram girl through and through, but but I think he's just winding people up. He's a Sagittarius. That's what they do.
I'm impressed you know that, to be fair.
What star sign are you?
Leo.
Ross, do you know what star sign you are?
I'm a Cancer, so I'm emotional.
Should we go the rounds? We've got Leo, Cancer, Harvey.
I'm Aries, so stubborn. I think is a key.
What about you, Bono?
takeaway.
What do you think I am from like my aura over the last hour and a half? With guys, like for the benefit of the people not watching, we've now moved from the fan social to the Ipswich kind of tarot reading like aura zone.
This is what the pods are for in the summer, the off season.
Yeah.
This is what they're all about.
We've got to find content somehow. So here we go.
Yeah,
bring it on.
So
you do communicate very well. I would go for a Gemini or a Libra, but there is.
I was about to say Libra. That would have been my guess.
Yeah, but you could also have a dominant rising, so that could be why. But part of me thinks also there's something earthy about you because of the hat, and I don't know why that is. Yeah.
Well, it was my birthday. It was my birthday last week, so I'm a Taurus.
Taurus, yeah. Same as McKenna.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I knew that from the first moment I saw his interview. He was too put together. I was like, he's a Taurus. I googled it, and he was.
That's some serious market research. That I'm impressed.
Yeah, I looked at all the important stuff.
Can our debutant be on every week? Maybe possibly presenting it so you can have a week off.
Yeah, go on, Ed. Sounds good to me. So I'm hearing some stuff outside, a petition of Ross should have a week off. So thank you very much to all my fans outside. But it is Kieran McKenna's birthday on Saturday, so he's going to be 36, the grand age of 36.
Oh, bless him.
I tell you what, right? You know you're old when the Ipswich manager is 5 years younger than you. And I'll stop you there. I know I don't look at it, but my goodness me.
Indeed. I think that's the perfect way to sort of stop, really. It has been a fantastic podcast. Thank you all for joining me. A great debut. Good to see the Sweet Welsh Prince. And, of course, Bono, you are a gent, as always. But I shall ask you all, any other business would you like to add? I'm going to go around the room. Any other business you want to bring up before we wrap up?
Yeah, there is, actually. I have a list.
Oh, no. Take too long.
I'll be quick. In my hot takes, I didn't mention this. I'm not sure we'll sort our left back out next season.
Oh, no.
No.
I've just got a funny feeling it's not going to be that easy. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. Have
you already got him in the building, Matt Penny?
Carl Edwards. That's my hot take. Carl Edwards, the new left back. Boom.
I like that.
For real. Das real Eduardo, huh?
I hope next season. Is JD's contract up now, or is it next year?
I think it's next year, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. Cool.
Definitely not at this summer.
I've really enjoyed watching him play. I think he's just such a top player.
He's amazing.
He's so classy and kind of elegant, like a golden unicorn or something. He's wonderful.
He's brilliant.
I really like seeing the friendships on the pitch. That is something I love seeing. I think we're really lucky to even witness that at times. It's kind of an inkling that actually what's going on in the dressing room is probably a really good thing, and hopefully the squad are building more and more. But I
love his socks.
Oh, the low socks.
I love his shoes.
You know what? I was all about that when I was in an interesting.
I was like, when was this? This must have been the first game of the season, actually. I pointed JD out. I went, he's cool. He's got banana boots on. They're bright yellow. My friend's gone, yeah, I guess so. But I did make some predictions at the beginning of the season of players, and they did kind of happen in a strange roundabout way. So that was fun. But I'd like to put a request out to Glory Days Artwork. I really want a couple of mugs that says Besties on it with Connor Chaplin and Wes Burns. That's such a beautiful bromance. We're really lucky to have that, and I think they'd sell out really well. So that's my last tuppence worth.
It's fine. I hope Brad from Glory Day Artwork, I think he does listen to the podcast. So if you are listening, my friend, take it away. Do your normal business. Harvey, over to you. Any other more business you want to add before we wrap up?
There's only certain players that can pull off wearing low socks, isn't there? And JD is that man. He just looks like an absolute don doing it. I think he's brilliant. He's so good. He epitomises everything good that we've done this season. Such a bizarre Ipswich career that he's had, but he just never panics, never looks like he's in any danger of any sort. And he's going to be key again next season. He really is. The centre back, I was going to call it a situation. It's not really a situation, but the headache, I'll call it, that McKenna's got next season with those centre backs is going to be really interesting, because we've got Corey and Darby back as well, who I think is a fantastic young player. But no, nothing more from me. Just looking forward to what's going to be an interesting summer in terms of recruitment, in terms of off the field stuff. And yeah, roll on June 30th. I wish it was June the 30th, July the 30th. And yeah, if it's an away game closer to me, maybe, then I'll definitely be there.
Brilliant. Bono, over to you to have the final say before I, of course, do the outro and plug our sponsors and socials and stuff like that. But over to you, my friend. Anything else you want to add?
No, other than thank you very much, and yeah, take care, stay safe, and be kind.
Well said as always, my friend. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this hour and a half worth of us chatting Ipswich Town. Of course, on your walk, on your run, your drive, whatever you're doing, hope you've enjoyed the podcast. Of course, support our sponsors at manscaped.com. Use code KOA. You get 20% off and free delivery. Your balls will thank you. Also follow us on all the socials at Kings of Anglia on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, of course. And of course, follow all of us individually as well on Twitter and Instagram, wherever you want to follow us. Do that. We'll be back for another edition of the Kings of Anglia Fan Social next week. Also, many other content that we'll be providing you throughout the summer. We're not going to stop. I know the season's done, but the season is here for us, because there's going to be many more content to come. End of season blues is here, but get ready for more Kings of Anglia content. I've been your host as ever, Ross, Ipswich, Harvey, Bono. Thanks for joining me. Goodbye all.